Does this look familiar? If yes, then watch this video till the end. Hi guys, Divyansh Gupta from IMPACT.MBA and CAT 1900 percentiler. Today we will talk about some of the myths and factors to consider now that your slots are out. So myth number 1, slots have different difficulty levels. As an example, let us look at these three questions from CAT 2024. This is from slot 1, this is from slot 2, and this is from slot 3. So while CAT has to make three different papers for the three different slots, they do try and ensure that the papers are similar, not in terms of the exactness of the question, but in terms of the level. Myth number 2, slot decides my percentile potential. If you look at this official document, you will realize that CAT uses statistics to normalize the score, taking care of all the relevant factors, and they also normalize the scores across the three sections and not the entire score individually. This is a well established method which is widely accepted as the gold standard in this industry. So any lingering differences in the difficulty of the three slots would be perfectly nullified using this methodology. Myth number 3, I should change my strategy based on the slot. Wrong. Your strategy stays the same. It's your execution window that shifts. The questions aren't the problem. It's your body and mind's rhythm that you need to match with your exam slot. So let us move on and look at some of the factors that we now need to consider to create the best strategy for the remaining 20 days. So the factor number 1 is something we call as the circadian rhythm, which is your body's internal clock. If you look at some of these research papers, you will see that it is widely accepted that your body's internal clock is associated with performance on certain cognitive tasks, particularly those requiring rapid information processing, which is exactly what CAT is all about. So this is the most important factor. You should give your mocks daily now in your slot window itself. Factor number 2, the truth about caffeine. Caffeine blocks tiredness signals but doesn't create energy. After it wears off, you experience a crash. So while this cup of coffee looks very inviting, you need to be strategic with how you consume caffeine. You must taper your caffeine and other related products intake. Factor number 3, the importance of diet. Let us look at these two options and decide which one is the best meal for us before the exam. This is meal 1. It is a balanced diet. You can see there is, protein, there is fibers, there is good easy dissolvable carbs here, and this is option number 2. So the obvious choice is meal number 1 before the exam and meal number 2 after the exam. You should practice eating well balanced light meals. The final factor to consider, the importance of sleep. Studying late might feel productive, but fatigue reduces your brain's ability to retain information. The correlation between 8 hours of sleep and high caliber exam performance is well documented by the researchers. Sleep at least 7 to 8 hours starting now. So now that we are clear on the myths and factors to consider, let us build your timetable for the remaining 20 days. If you have been given slot 1, this is what your timetable should look like. You should wake up and have your breakfast between 6 to 7 a.m. On the exam day, you would probably leave your homes to reach the exam center around 7 a.m. The exam will go on till 10:30. So you should block these 4 hours for the mock test every day. You should attempt the mock from 8:30 to 10:30, and you should be sitting in front of your desktop slash laptop from 8 a.m. Understand that before the exam, on the D day, you will be looking at a screen for at least half an hour before the exam starts. And at this point, a lot of unwanted thoughts can come out. So you should try and master your emotions. After the mock window, you can unwind. You can watch something which is light-hearted. Think of Modern Family, Friends, etc. You should also have your lunch in this time period. For the next 4 hours, starting from 1 p.m., you will work on your mock analysis. For each and every section, you will look at the questions that you got wrong. You will look at the questions that you could not solve. You will also look at questions that took you too much time to solve. In addition to all of this, you will analyze your overall attempt pattern and identify the questions that you should have left but you did not. In these 2 hours, you will work on your DILR and quant gaps that you have identified. You can practice certain types of questions. You can also revise certain concepts. For these two sections, we have created a curated playlist that takes care of both the revision and the practice. You should definitely check that on our homepage. You can relax and have your dinner. Obviously, all the three meals that we have talked about are going to be very light and well balanced. Nutrition is the key. During 9 to 10 p.m., you can go for some light reading and VARC work. Lights off at 10. You need to get your 8 hours of sleep, so you should sleep from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. And then this entire day will repeat and you will keep on doing till your CAT exam. If you have been given the slot 2, you should target to wake up around 8 a.m. You should get fresh and get down to VARC revision and some light work between 9 to 10 a.m. Then you will go for some moderate breakfast between 10 to 11 a.m., which will also function as your lunch. You will reserve 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for your mock test window. You will attempt the mock from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. You will take the first half an hour from 12 to 12:30 to just sit in front of your laptop slash desktop and consolidate your thoughts to be exam ready. This is something which takes a lot of practice. After your mock test, you can unwind and have a lunch between 3 to 4 p.m. and then you will get back to your desk at 4 p.m. For the next 4 hours, you will analyze your mock. You will identify for each of the section what are the things that you got wrong, what are the things that you could not solve, and what are the things that took you too much time to solve. After that, between 8 to 9 p.m., you will unwind. You can go for a walk after your dinner and get back to the drawing board at 9 p.m. From 9 to 11 p.m., you will work on DILR and quant gaps that you have identified in this mock analysis window. On the next day, you will work on the VARC gaps that you have identified on yesterday's mock analysis. Lights off at 11 p.m. You have an opportunity, slot 2 people have an opportunity to sleep till 8 a.m. So you do get a potential for 9 hours of sleep, which would be excellent. The reason for a moderate breakfast slash lunch for slot 2 people is that your CAT exam window lies dead center in the lunch window for most people, which means that this meal will have to serve as your first meal of the day and should sustain you until 3 p.m. So finally to the slot 3, which is somewhat tricky to master, you will wake up and have your breakfast between 9 to 10 a.m. Starting from 10 a.m., you will dedicate the next 4 hours to your mock analysis for the mock that you would have taken yesterday. For all the three sections, you will look for questions that you could not solve, the questions that you got incorrect, and the questions that took you too much time. Along with this, you will analyze your overall attempt pattern and identify the questions that you should have left but you didn't. Now, the slot 3 people should not be watching any content or shows in this window because it has the potential to distract you. The next 4 hours from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. you will reserve for your mock test attempt. You will attempt the mock from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. and you will reserve the first half, that is 4 to 4:30 p.m. to just sit in front of your laptop slash desktop and consolidate your thoughts. From 9 to 12, you will be working on the gaps that you have identified in your mock analysis. Uh, this goes for all the three sections, and particularly for Quant and DLR, we have a ready-made curated playlist which takes care of both the revision aspect as well as the practice aspect. Lights off at 12 sharp so that you get a good 8 to 9 hours of sleep before your next day kicks in. So there it is, your battle plan for the next 20 days. If you have any more queries, feel free to comment on the video, and if you like the content, please do subscribe and click on the notification icon. Final words of wisdom: worrying about the syllabus, worrying about what you know, what you don't know, that part is over. What you should now worry about is to put your best foot forward in the examination scenario, and that starts today, and that has to be done daily.